Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're going to be plunging into a pretty specific source. It's a detailed online review of the Annabella digital photo frame.
Right. What's interesting is how this review sets it up. It calls it a, quote, premium digital photo frame under $100 right off the bat.
Exactly. That's sort of the core tension, isn't it? Premium, but affordable.
Sure.
So our mission today is really to unpack the main claims, the features, specifically as they're presented in this review.
We want to understand what this source claims makes this frame special, you know?
Yeah, and explore how the review talks about it as maybe a gift or just a way to connect with people. But importantly, sticking strictly to what this one review says.
Absolutely. We're using this review as our lens, focusing only on the picture it paints of this Annabella frame.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the review's opening. It starts by talking about, that common search for a good, affordable way to share memories. Finding the perfect gift.
And then it brings in the Annabella frame, suggesting it could be this mind-blowing deal because of that premium label alongside the under $100 price tag.
It's an interesting setup. It kind of challenges that idea that premium has to mean expensive, doesn't it?
It really does. The review seems like it's setting out to prove you can get both, at least with this specific product.
Okay, so the first big feature the review uses to back up this premium claim is the display. It talks about a 10.1-inch screen.
Yeah, an IPS HD touchscreen specifically. And they give the resolution too, 1280 by 800.
And the language the review uses is quite strong, isn't it? Calling the quality extraordinary.
Stunning, vibrant, crystal clear. And it mentions the IPS technology, which means, you can see it clearly from different angles.
Right, and there's that evocative phrase they use, every photo comes alive.
It feels like the review is really leaning on these screen specs, the size, the HD, the IPS, to justify calling it premium, while still being under $100.
Like step one in their argument is, look at this screen quality, even at this price point. At least that's what the review says.
Exactly. So the visual experience is front and center. But a great screen isn't much use if getting photos onto it is a pain.
Good point. So the review moves quickly to connectivity, how you actually share photos. It focuses on instant wireless sharing.
And it says this happens through an app called Amor, compatible with both iOS and Android, the review notes.
And the process, based on the review, sounds pretty simple. You send photos and even short video clips, 15 seconds. It specifies straight from your phone.
Yeah, anytime, anywhere. The review even gives that relatable example, like sharing a beach sunset from your vacation instantly with family back home.
It really emphasizes that ease, that immediacy, and then comes what feels like a really crucial point in the review's argument.
Yes, the money part.
Right. It makes a very explicit statement. No subscription fees, ever.
And you can see why they'd highlight that. It's positioned as a major plus, maybe compared to other frames or cloud services that might have ongoing costs.
Absolutely. The review frames it as, buy the frame once, and the sharing described is included. No hidden monthly charges sneaking up on you later.
It's a strong selling point, according to this review. So beyond sharing, what about just like living with the frame day to day? Does the review mention ease of use features?
It does. It talks about a couple of smart features. One is auto rotate.
Oh, right. So if you turn the frame sideways, the picture flips automatically.
Exactly. Vertical photos stay vertical. Horizontal stay horizontal. Simple but convenient. And then there's a built-in light sensor.
Okay, what does the review say that does?
It claims it automatically adjusts the screen brightness based on the room's light. The review describes it as being easy on the eyes and energy efficient.
Little conveniences that make it blend in better, I suppose. Less fiddling with settings.
Seems like it. And then the review makes a big deal about storage capacity. Massive storage is the term they use.
How massive are we talking, according to the source?
Well, it starts with 32 gigabytes of internal memory.
Which is decent, but then?
Then the review says it's expandable via an SD card up to 128 gigabytes.
Wow, okay. That's quite a bit of potential space.
Add it all up, and the review makes this pretty impressive claim. It can store over 40,000 photos.
40,000. I mean, the review is basically saying you can load this thing up with a huge chunk of your photo library, not just a few recent snaps.
Exactly. It connects that text, the storage size, directly to the idea of holding like a lifetime of memories. It's not just a slideshow device. It's presented as more of an archive.
Which leads nicely into another angle the review pushes pretty hard.
Yeah.
The perfect gift angle.
Yeah, definitely. It suggests it's great for occasions like Mother's Day, Father's Day, or, just because.
And the emotional benefit claim is quite strong. The review says it brings people together, It even suggests preloading it with memories before giving it as a gift.
Right, and then watch their faces light up with joy. It paints a very specific picture.
And it specifically calls out grandparents, doesn't it?
It does. It says it's especially ideal for them, highlighting that maybe they don't use social media but still want to see photos and videos easily.
That seems like a key part of the review's positioning. It's saying this frame solves a problem sharing digital stuff easily across generations, particularly with those who might be less tech comfortable.
Making it simple and direct. The review also briefly touches on build quality and support.
What does it claim there?
It mentions that each unit supposedly undergoes 200 hours of machine testing.
200 hours. Yeah, they're trying to signal reliability, I guess.
It seems that way. And it also mentions a 360-day warranty is offered. The review calls this peace of mind for the buyer.
And customer service.
Claims it's responsive. So the review tries to build confidence not just in the features, but also in the product lasting and having support behind it.
Gotcha. So features, gifting potential, reliability. What else? Does it compare to other options?
Yes, finally, it gets into a direct comparison with competitors. But it's careful to specify at its price point on Amazon.
So context is key there. They're not comparing it to like super high-end professional displays.
Exactly. Within that under $100 bracket on Amazon, the review argues the Annabella is superior. It claims other frames in that range often lack things like Wi-Fi.
Which is crucial for that easy sharing they highlighted earlier.
Right. And also touchscreen capability, decent resolution. And again, it brings up hidden subscription fees that others might have.
So it's setting up a contrast. Here's what others don't have at this price, according to the review.
And here's what the Annabella does have. That Wi-Fi sharing with no fees, the high-res IPS display we talked about, the apparently easy-to-use app, the huge storage potential, and that claimed durable, tested build quality.
It basically pulls all its previous points together into a value argument for this specific market segment.
Precisely. And the review's final word on this comparison is pretty bold. It says, it's not just better, it's unbeatable.
Unbeatable. Okay, that's a strong closing statement from the reviewer. Leaves no doubt about their conclusion within that specific context.
Yeah, it really wraps up the review's entire argument, positioning the frame as the clear winner in its category, well, according to this particular source anyway.
It definitely leaves the reader with a very strong impression of the product's value proposition, as seen by this reviewer.
Okay, so let's quickly summarize the key takeaways from our deep dive into this specific review. The Annabella frame, as described here, is presented as having a high-quality 10.1-inch IPS HD touch display.
With 1280 by 800 resolution. And the review really emphasizes its vibrant, clear visuals and wide viewing angles, framing it as premium screen quality for under $100.
Then there's the wireless sharing via the AMR app photos and those 15-second videos, with the review heavily stressing that there are no subscription fees, ever.
It also points to smart features for convenience, like the auto-rotate function and the ambient light sensor, and of course that massive storage potential, 32 GB internal, expandable up to 128 GB via SD card.
Which the review claims translates to holding over 40,000 photos, positioning it as a sort of digital memory chest.
And the review strongly pushes it as a great gift, especially, it says, for grandparents, focusing on its role in easily connecting people and sharing moments emotionally. This is backed, the review claims, by 200 hours of testing and a 360-day warranty.
And finally, the review makes that direct comparison to competitors in its price range on Amazon, arguing it include essential features like fee-free Wi-Fi sharing and a quality display that others supposedly lack, leading to that unbeatable verdict from the reviewer.
Absolutely. And, looking closely at how a review like this constructs its argument piece by piece can be really insightful for you, the listener, whether you're actually thinking about buying such a frame or just interested in how products get positioned.
It really shows you the specific buttons the reviewer chose to push, the features they decided to highlight to make their case for value. And thinking about that, considering how much the review emphasizes the simplicity of sharing, especially for people maybe not super comfortable with tech, what does that focus, the review's focus on this kind of straightforward direct sharing? What might that suggest about just the basic human need to share moments, share memories across distances, regardless of how tech-savvy someone is?
That's an interesting thought, that core desire to connect, and how technology, when reviewed like this, is framed as serving that fundamental need, almost bypassing the complexity. Definitely something to mull over.